So as soon as you're ready, you're going to go ahead and go to the next little portion so we can look at a couple of these conversions before tomorrow. Okay, so go ahead and go to the next part. Okay. All right, so mole conversions using dimensional analysis. So there's the point of why I gave you all those annoying warm-ups, right? And we're going to continue working on dimensional analysis. So when I'm back on Friday, actually maybe tomorrow I'm going to give you another one. But Friday, we're going to be at it again, okay? We are going to master dimensional analysis. It is a very important life skill, believe it or not. My people trying to go into nursing and things like that, you got to know how to convert your stuff, the medicines and things. My people who are going to go to physics next year, you're going to have to do that. And just let me be creative and think about all your other occupations that a lot of you guys are going to go into. Conversions are everywhere, okay? Even planning parties, conversions are necessary, okay? Yes. Can I do it after we do this and I'll let you? Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and move into this. This will be probably the most complicated that it'll get because the other stuff is using your molar masses that we've been working on. So particle, you kind of heard me say it on the other side. Particles can be defined as atoms. So sometimes we'll use the word particles, sometimes we'll use the word atoms, sometimes we'll say the word molecules, and sometimes we'll say formula units. But really, nobody wants to write that many words, so we tend to abbreviate it FU. All right, so next, okay, those are going to be the things that if you see it in a problem, that's what you're using. You're going to be using Avogadro's number, okay? Funny chemistry words, use the funny chemistry guy, Avogadro, okay? All right, so any of those, that's what you're doing. So to convert from moles to particles or particles to moles, we're going to be using this conversion factor. 1 mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So go ahead and cross out that second little 2 right there because you don't really need it. In your guys' formula chart that you have next to you, it has Avogadro's number and it only goes to the first 2. Okay? All right. So we're going to be using that is equal to 1 mole. In the problem, I want you guys underline what you are given and circle what you're wanting. So you're going to underline whatever is given to you. You're going to circle whatever you are looking for. Okay? So for example, we have how many atoms are in 2.5 moles of aluminum. So the given is usually the number. Usually the number. So we're going to go over there. We're going to say 2.5. But we've been seeing in our dimensional analysis warm-ups, it's not enough to just have a bunch of numbers. Underline that word right there with it. 2.5 moles. And in a future chapter, we're going to also have to add in the aluminum, so you might start getting in the habit of that. But for now, let's just do the moles. So 2.5 moles. Atoms is what we are solving for. So go ahead and circle that. Okay? Hey, you guys. Thank you. Oh, and you guys. Thank you. All right, so 2.5 moles. That's going to be the part that's going to go right there in that first spot. Okay? So go ahead and put 2.5 moles right there. Okay, from our warm-ups, what has been important about those words? What was the important thing about unicorn? 1, right? So how did we get to 1? We had unicorn divided by unicorn. Exactly. So a word divided by a word is the number 1, which makes it not disappear like poof, but it's out of the spotlight. It turns into the number 1. So if I have moles up here, where else does moles need to go? To the bottom, right? So this is what you guys can rely on. Go ahead and draw an arrow that's saying moles comes down to the right. Bring your word down to the right every single time. That's the best way to approach your dimensional analysis because now that I just did that, now I'm just going to put my little conversion factor into those spots. So can anyone tell me what number am I going to put next to mole? Look at that conversion. What number goes next to the word mole? What do you guys see? Is it 6.02 or is it 1? 1. Exactly. 1 mole. So 1 goes on the bottom. The top is going to have atoms. We've seen that we need to end with what we want on top. So we're going to say 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. Okay? I kind of forgot to put this there, but we can always put a 1 underneath our first number given to us, right? And now what you're left with is you have, when you go to type it in, 2.5 times 6.02 E23. You'll push equals, and then immediately push divide, and you're going to do everybody across the bottom. It's not always going to be ones, so I would just start the habit now. You're going to push divide by 1, and then equals again. So write out those keystrokes right there, and that way you have it. I would type it in to make sure that you understand that dividing part right here. I believe the answer that we get is 1.505 times 10 to the 24. Okay, you can always look at what number was given to you in the problem, and you can make it as short as that. So it goes to 1 decimal place. You can say 1.5 mole, or I'm sorry, atoms. Okay. All right. So tomorrow, I need you to check Schoology. Okay. Don't give the sub a hard time or say